Good morning. How are you this morning?
Oh, we're singing the intro now.
Why not?
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
This is how we try to find energy.
Yeah. Amongst coffee and other various things. That makes it sound like we're doing drugs. We're not.
I have a question.
Tell me.
Is everyone just out here taking Unisum every day of pregnancy? Because I cannot sleep unless I take it.
Yeah.
And I've tried to not take it.
Yeah.
And then it's 2 a.m. and I have not gone to bed and I'm staring at the ceiling and I cave in and then I take it and then I wake up at 6 and I'm groggy and I'm a zombie. So now I'm like, okay, I have to take it. And I just want to know, like, how are you guys sleeping out there? How are you sleeping when you're pregnant? I don't understand. My mind is like as if I'm at a club on Adderall.
I took Unisum every single night of my pregnancy, so I don't know what it's like to not take it. I tried my first pregnancy to not take it, and then I would barf, and I was like, no, taking it again.
Yeah. I finally stopped feeling nauseous, so I was like, okay, I'm going to wean myself off of it. And I didn't even think about the sleep part. I didn't even think about how it would help with that. And after a few nights of not sleeping, you're like, okay, well, I have to sleep.
If you're asking for my advice, which you're not, I would say stop torturing yourself and you'll be tired enough to sleep when the baby comes. So just like take it and live your life and do what you got to do to survive.
You know me.
I know.
I'm so skeptical.
I know.
Of everything in the world.
Yeah.
And it's a problem. And I know that all the evidence says it's fine and it's safe. I mean, even my midwife recommended it. You know, they tend to be very holistic.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm like, but is it?
Right. No, I get it. You just want to do the best thing.
Yeah. It's not about just me.
Yeah,
It just feels, you just think more about that stuff. And everything you take, you just...
Yeah, you want to make sure you're making the right choices, doing the best thing. That's why all of this stuff in politics is so heightened, because everybody wants to do what's best for their kids. So I totally get it. But I was like, I got to sleep. So
I mean, the more I talk to people about it, the more I realize everyone was on it their whole pregnancy.
That's the thing too, is like everyone I know takes it.
And everything I've read says it's been around for so long, been tested so much. Yeah. And so I just have to get over it.
Yeah.
But I do want to try like less and less, you know?
Right.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But insomnia ain't it. To be fair, I will choose insomnia over nauseous.
Yeah.
I just will. I can function on low sleep. I already have done it. Well, I can't, but I can. I know I survived. I can survive.
Totally.
Sometimes when I'm nauseous and I have to throw up, it doesn't feel like I can survive.
I feel that.
That's just me. I don't know.
A level of nausea and vomiting.
Being pregnant is not for the weak. I feel like my hormones shifted. I became less nauseous, but then with it, my hormones caused insomnia. Can I have like a week where I'm like, you know, somewhat operating at a normal level? Just a week.
Doesn't it make you LOL to think of, like, people are like, I love being pregnant. Like, good for you. So happy for you.
Also, anyone who's telling me they're tired. What did I do before kids? What did I do? The amount of time I had in the day to just lay around and watch Vampire Diaries when it was raining, and now it's raining. I try to watch one episode. I can't even get through one episode while my son's napping.
No.
Sorry, that was a rant. But like, this new concept of time.
No,
it just,
and
like changes.
And
so
people
much.
will be like, my feelings are still valid. It's like, yes, your feelings are still valid, but don't talk to me about them.
Yeah, don't tell a mom you're tired.
Talk to somebody else who can relate, okay? Because it's just not the same.
Yeah, I just saw a really funny video and I need to send it to my friend because this is her. It was like, you are going to be really good at motherhood if you can vomit all night from being super drunk and not sleep at all and wake up and have a fully functional day.
Yeah.
I was like, that's my friend.
Really?
Yeah. Like, she'll sleep 3 hours and be totally out of it and like rollerblade to a monument and run a 5K.
Nope. Not me.
It's like
some people are just different.
They operate at different energy levels.
I just don't have that. My husband is like the Energizer Bunny. And same thing.
Try survive.
I mean, right?
Yeah.
The next day, be like 6:30 a.m. All right, I'm going for a surf, and then I have 2 back-to-back rounds of golf. What do you want to do tonight?
Yeah.
Tonight, like, I'm gonna just try to survive until bedtime. I'll have 7 Coca-Colas and a bean burrito, and then I will be going to bed at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
That's-
Natasha the other day, this is just a funny side note that I thought of. She was like, should we both get babysitters and go do something fun? I was like,
Taylor immediately, no.
I was like, I'm not very fun.
Both
like,
Well, you don't sell yourself short. But both of our husbands were out of town, and I was like, should we get a babysitter and go to a 5 p.m. dinner? And she was like, I'm not very fun. I was like, well, now you're especially not, because you said that.
I am such a party pooper.
No, you're not. I get it. Also, we had a lot of fun hanging with our kids.
Yeah, we did.
But I was just like, is this the world aligning and telling us we should go do something?
I know, but we should do that someday.
Right. We were talking like months ago. I don't know if we've ever hung out. Not ever, but like since we've had kids, like we've maybe gotten together one time before the podcast without one child with us.
But you know how you know that means like we're homies?
Yeah.
Because we never noticed that.
Totally.
Because we still keep up with our friendship the same way while having our kids with us.
Totally.
I think that it's interesting when friends point out, like, I've never seen you without your kid. You're never not with your kid. It's like, okay, well then obviously our friendship isn't that deep.
Right.
Because I do think, yes, there's so much value in hanging out one-on-one without kids, but also at the end of the day, like, this is just the stage we're in.
Yeah.
And if you can't hold up the same level of friendship while having your kids there, then like, sorry, that's like not a real friendship.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Totally. And like, I will be able to go to dinner at 7 p.m. in the very near future. But like, if our friendship relies on me being able to go to dinner at 7, then we're not friends.
Yeah.
And like,
totally.
and also if you're going to be mad that I have a baby, like we're not friends.
Yeah.
There's like so many things that I could say.
I agree.
But like, I'll see you at 8 or like want to go to dinner at 5. Like it just like be flexible, be normal.
Be flexible. God.
God.
Talking about being flexible. We're today.
Oh, good segue.
Right?
Yes.
Today we are talking about birth plans.
Can I just say, Taylor really keeps us on track. And I'm over here just like, la-di-da.
Like, I am picking up my son in 45 minutes from preschool. We're talking about birth plans.
Taylor's like, so back to the point of the fucking story. And I'm like, so, did you see Margot Robbie in the news? She's like, so birth plans?
So talking about being flexible. I think that the thought of birth plans has gone totally unhinged and that people don't know what a birth plan actually is meant to be and what the term actually means. Because I think that when people hear birth plan, they think, oh, I'm going to write this checklist of things that are going to happen and that I want to happen, and that's that.
And I'm going to like design the room. Like,
I'm going to design the room. I don't know.
Make a playlist.
Yeah, like bring sparkly lights.
Right.
I think we've kind of lost the point a little bit here. And I have seen a lot of videos lately that really upset me as someone who's dedicated so much time into childbirth education training and coming from a daughter of a childbirth educator. I think that we've kind of lost our way because a lot of the videos I've been seeing are like, my birth plan, I just don't want to die. What I say to that is like, of course.
Yeah.
Of course we don't want to die.
Like, why
That's
is that?
the bare minimum.
Why is that even a thought?
Yeah. And also, I don't like that because people are dying in childbirth.
Right.
And I just don't think we should make a joke about it.
Totally.
And the maternal health stats in this country aren't great compared to other developed nations. Right. So I just think we need to take a step back and talk about what actually are birth plans, why they can be helpful, why they can be important, and why it isn't just a checklist of like, this is what I'm going to do and I'm going to be disappointed if it doesn't happen. Mm-hmm. No, it's actually laying out all the different possibilities and navigating it and being informed.
So can you tell us the history of what a birth plan is?
Yes. So birth plans should be looked at as an educational tool. So what I would say is it's very hard to write a birth plan without taking a birth class because you don't really know what you don't know. So birth plans started as a way for people to write out informed preferences about what they might want in a birth and to make their informed decisions and shared decisions with their birth team. It's not like I'm going to write this and then I go tell my OB and recite to them, this is how my birth's going to go. Like that is not what a birth plan is. What it is being able to communicate to your partner, to your doula, to your OB, you know, this is what I would like if things turn out the way I don't want them.
Right.
So
like this is my ideal situation.
Yes.
And if XYZ happens, then these are my preferences.
Yes. And that way you don't get into a position where something happens and you are a little bit out of it because things are going on and your husband doesn't know what you'd prefer.
Right.
And this can be about minor things, about when to cut the cord, when to, like, it can get very, you know, granular.
Right.
And sometimes decisions are made for you if you don't make them before and don't state your preferences.
And you don't share them with your team, like your husband, your doula, like you said.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people are afraid of writing birth plans because they think it is writing out what they want to happen. And then if it doesn't happen, they'll be disappointed.
Sure.
But I would say approach that differently.
Yeah.
Approach it as, here's if these things do happen, what I prefer, and use it as a way to educate yourself on all the different things.
So can you give us an example? Like, you know, something doesn't go the way you planned and like what that looks like.
So you can talk about all you want, how you would want a vaginal birth. I had in case of cesarean birth plan.
Okay.
There's a way to discuss cesarean protocols with your OB. So some people allow you to still do skin to skin. It's called like family forward cesarean.
Okay.
You can ask that your partner be in the room with you. You can ask that partner gets the baby immediate skin to skin if you're out of it and you can't do it immediately. Random little things like that. Are preferences that you want to discuss because you want to know what the hospital protocol is. You want to know how flexible things are. Do you want your baby going to a nursery, even if all things are okay? Or do you want them with you? Do you want formula offered to your baby? Sometimes that's fine. You don't care. Sometimes that does matter and you do care. And, you know, the umbilical cord is a good one because sometimes it's just standard procedure. Just cut it, you know?
A lot of the things are standard procedure. And if you don't have a preference, then that's just like status quo.
And if you don't have a preference, then that's okay. And at least you're informed and you know that, you know what, I don't really care about these things. But you'll find a lot of people do have preferences. A lot of people feel like they weren't listened to in their birth. Women's satisfaction with birth, there's been a lot of data on this. And women are more satisfied when they feel like they're part of the decision making.
Totally. Because if you find out about something after it happens and you're like, oh, I wish I knew, that's something that you can get ahead of so you're not disappointed. Like you said, get informed and make informed decisions, like the skin to skin thing, like the umbilical cord thing, like offering formula, all of these things. If you know that that's standard protocol, then you can say I care or I don't.
Right. And we've talked about this before, but even little things like I don't want my movement to be restricted.
Continuous fetal monitoring.
Yes. I don't want EFM. I would rather have intermittent monitoring. All of these things are things that, you know, you actually do have a right to say preferences. And most OBs will understand that.
And most OBs will do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But if you're not informed, so you aren't able to express an opinion, there's just a standard operating procedure that the nurses and the OBs will follow, right? Like your OB will deliver in whatever position you want. If you just say, I want to deliver in the non-standard position.
Or even just, you know, having in your birth plan, like I would like, and you discuss this, by the way, before you go into labor. So what I would say too, my biggest advice is if you want to do a childbirth education class, which I highly suggest you do, and it doesn't have to be a big fancy one or a big long one, but sign up at the end of your second trimester and start by either the end of second trimester, beginning of third trimester, because you will tend to forget that information.
For sure.
And
I would say
so-
like wait till the end, because
Wait till the end, but you also don't know if you'll go into labor early. What I would suggest is to take it, and as you're taking it, start your birth plan. Write down what you're learning, what you prefer, and that way, you know, you retain the information better and you know it and you have it and it's printed out. You go over it with your husband, your doula, your midwife, your OB. Everyone's on the same page.
Yeah.
And you could be like, oh, I didn't know that. I really want a peanut ball during my epidural. I want to switch sides. Okay, I'm going to ask my OB, is that available or do I
Right.
have to bring it?
Yeah.
Just little things like that.
Right. So what's so funny to me as someone who's had 2 hospital births about birth plans is like you pre-register at the hospital and they give you this packet and it has a birth plan template.
Oh my God. What's on it? I want to know.
So like some of the stuff looking back is like, to me, not important.
Yeah, interesting.
And I almost feel like it feeds into the like things
Totally.
that don't matter.
Yeah.
And so it's like, wait, why is this on here?
Oh my God.
Like the music playing or like the
song I want when I'm pushing, I'm like, oh my God.
right, like
what?
that wasn't on there, but there was something about the vibe of the room, and I don't want to say decor, but something about lights and like the sound, and like I want low lights.
Look,
and like
I'm not
something
saying
playing.
that stuff doesn't matter,
No,
but
sure.
like if you're gonna have things on your list, there are certain things you need or would want to have, and like those aren't them.
We're talking about bare bones
Those are
here.
like frills.
Yeah. So like you can go in and do all of those things yourself, right? Like you can go into your delivery room and like put on music, and like you don't need to consult anyone. Like you can set up your
Your
twinkle.
husband can press play while you're pushing.
Yeah, and you can go in and set up your twinkle lights or your candles or whatever, or like have your husband do that. But like your birth team doesn't need to be consulted on that stuff.
Yeah.
Now, reflecting back, I'm like, let's get down to the nitty gritty here. I don't want an episiotomy, right?
My mom wrote that. So
Yeah.
I was telling Natasha, it's so cute because I have my mom's original birth plan for me.
Really?
She had an episiotomy for her first birth.
Stop.
And she was a childbirth educator, a trained doula, and she still felt like it was very hard to push back on the things that were happening, even though she knows she would prefer a 1st or 2nd degree tear over an episiotomy.
Oh, wow.
And that she would prefer some other things have been tried first.
Uh-huh.
So it's very hard when you're in the moment.
Yeah.
And things happen, and knowing all the options. I do think she was ahead of the game in terms of she did know all the things that could happen, and so she wasn't as like traumatized by it because she knew it was a possibility. And
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's
Anyway.
something to be said though about that, and like that she was a childbirth educator and a doula, and she had preferences, and that's like,
Yeah.
she didn't want an episiotomy, and it still happened.
It still happened.
Because when you're in the moment and this medical professional is telling you we need to do this, it's intimidating.
It is intimidating. And also, by the way, episiotomies were somewhat still routine when my mom was, and she knew that that wasn't ideal, and
Yeah.
that hopefully things would shift, and they've shifted now. People
Yeah.
don't do them as much.
Right.
It's not as routine. But she wrote in my birth plan, because she knew all of this, you know, I prefer XYZ
Yeah.
over an episiotomy. If
Okay.
an episiotomy medically needs to be done, that's a different story.
Sure.
But like, I prefer these things if we can move forward with that.
She said, I prefer a 1st or 2nd degree
Yeah.
tear over an episiotomy.
Yeah.
Let's not opt
Yes.
for an episiotomy.
Yes.
I'd rather try this
Right.
first. Which, like, just a side note is I've heard women say their 2nd or 3rd birth is healing to them because they felt much more informed the second time around.
Yes.
They were able to advocate for themselves more. They were able to make better decisions. And what I want with this conversation is for women who are pregnant the first time to be
Right.
able to be like, hey, I want to get informed. I
Yeah.
want to make it so that I don't have that feeling going.
Oh my gosh.
into-
A friend of mine in Los Angeles was like, I asked my OB if I should take a birth class, and she said, why? Baby's coming out anyway.
Yeah.
And I think I do want to give OBs the benefit of the doubt, because I actually don't think most OBs would say that.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty crazy.
I think that's crazy too.
The OB I've been seeing now is like, you know, they offer you classes.
Yeah,
Like
right.
that's very crazy.
I'm actually stoked you're having an OB experience so you can have
no, it's been eye-opening. Yeah. So that was shocking.
Yeah.
And that's being said to some people,
Right.
which is
Some
super
of-
concerning.
Some of the stuff that people are being told, like obviously corner cases and stuff, but you're just like, whoa. Like I have heard people say that it's easier
Yes.
for medical professionals to have a patient that's less informed.
Yeah.
Because
it's why even though stats say
Yeah.
that doulas improve outcomes.
Yeah.
And can I just say, even though I've been trained to be a doula, I understand there are amazing doulas and that there are doulas that you might not want to hire.
Of course.
And that's the same for OBs, midwives, everyone.
Right.
I mean, that's why we always say shop around for people.
Yeah.
So I preface this by saying that first.
Right.
But like a lot of OBs are like, do we have to have a doula in the room?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Because that's another person dictating the situation. Obviously, safety comes first.
Yes.
And everyone in the room should know that.
Yeah.
And just because you're writing a birth plan, that's not you writing in blood, this needs to happen, and I'm not going to choose the safety of myself and my baby.
Of course.
It's just about preferences.
If I have to have a C-section, I want the baby on my chest.
Yeah. I just want people to know, like, it's your body.
Yeah.
It's your baby.
Yeah.
You have a right.
Sure.
And, you know, it's organizations like the World Health Organization that are saying this.
Yeah. And
Not-
saying, hey, you should be informed about this.
Yeah. And they go off of evidence. So
Right.
they're like, you have the right to get into different positions,
Yeah.
to move your body because this helps outcomes. I
Right.
get so passionate about this because I feel like people don't understand what birth plans are and what they could be.
Yes.
So they make fun of them and they say,
Yeah.
I just don't want to die.
Well, it's like how things have gotten unhinged with weddings. Why have things gotten so crazy to where we're talking about like the decor of the hospital room? That's actually like not the birth plan.
Yeah.
That's not how birth plans started. And again, social media has made things go unhinged.
Right.
Like we're talking about medical preferences or preferences when things are not medicalized.
Right.
We're not talking about decor
Yeah.
and playlists.
I wrote like such simple things that
Yeah.
made sense to me that someone might just not think about. Like
Yeah.
I said, I don't want any cervical exams.
Yeah.
If everything's going well.
Yeah.
And progressing. Like I just don't need them. They
Right.
actually don't inform you if you're moving along.
Right. Or things like, I don't want my bag of waters broken. If I don't have to, I don't want students in the room.
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
All-
I wrote that on mine. I didn't want students, residents or anything.
all kinds of things like that.
It's not like a list that you print out and you tack it on the wall and you're like, here we go. It's a discussion.
Right.
It's an informed, even if you don't bring it to your birth, your husband will know if
And
something happens.
it's like you made the point, I don't know, some other time we were chatting, but if there's a medical emergency and I'm unconscious, these are
Right.
the decisions that I would like you to make for me.
I want baby to be with husband.
Yes.
Because husband is going to be overwhelmed if something is happening
Of
to you. That's an
course.
emergency.
So it's for him too.
So it's for him too.
Right.
To be like, okay, I feel at peace with this because this is what my wife wants.
And this is what we discussed.
And this is what
and
we
it's in
discussed.
paper.
Yeah.
So I don't have to think like, oh, what did she say?
Right.
When everything is like crazy.
Right.
And of course, hopefully it doesn't get to that point. But if it does, then you have a plan.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least preferences.
Right. Yeah. A big thing that we've actually discussed the BRAIN acronym before in a
Oh,
different
yes.
episode. But I think people get overwhelmed when we're talking about all these things and they're probably like, you know, if you haven't given birth yet, you're like, wait, what is that? What is this? Do I have to know all these like medical terms or what could happen or all my preferences? And the answer is no. It's really good to go in knowing some things and taking a class and writing a birth plan, but you also should be empowered by the fact that you don't need to know everything. You just need to know how to ask the right questions. So the BRAIN acronym is really powerful. It's benefits, risks, alternatives, intuition, now or never. So if someone is saying, an OB or, you know, anyone in the
Nurse.
room, nurse, anyone is saying,
Yeah.
okay, we're going to try this. You can say, okay, what are the benefits if we do this? What are the risks if we do this? What are the alternatives? What is my intuition saying right now? Because that does matter. What happens if we never do this? And so you ask all those questions, they should be able to answer all of them.
Yeah.
And then you're making an informed, shared decision.
It makes me think of there's this influencer on Instagram that I've been following for years, and she had preeclampsia at like 32 weeks, ended up having to have like emergency birth and all of the things. And she tells a story about when she was in the hospital and they were like, we're going to induce her. And she was just with the medical team that was on call at that point. And she was like, can you call my OB? I just want to talk to her specifically because I feel like I'm going to die.
Oh my God.
And she called her OB, and her OB was like, it's okay. But it makes me think of the intuition thing. And anyways, something went wrong, and something medically went wrong. And she lost a ton of blood, and she did almost die, but she's fine, and her baby is fine. And like, he's 5 now, and everybody's all good. But listening to your intuition matters. I just think that that's such a big call out for whenever you're in the hospital or whenever you're going into labor or anything, like your intuition matters.
And intuition comes into play a lot with communication and speaking what's going on.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I need to tell listeners or you the fact that sometimes women just aren't listened to. And that's been proven in the medical world.
Right. Oh my God. Like the article that came out recently talking about how women feel C-sections, and so many women who are like, I can feel everything. And they're like, no, you can't.
Totally gaslit.
Excuse you?
Oh my gosh. The amount of women that I've been teaching who were gaslit into thinking that their epidural was working when they said it wasn't working is insane. I want to say like 50% of some of these classes. So these women are saying, hey, it's not working. I feel everything. Yeah. They're on Pitocin, which makes it extremely difficult to manage contractions. Yeah. And the anesthesiologist or the OB or the nurse are all saying, no, it's working. It's placed right.
It's just disappointing. And no wonder women are scared
of speaking out because,
or scared of birth in general, because you hear these stories and you're like, great.
I know.
Can't wait. I just don't want to die.
I know.
And that's where that comes from.
That is where that comes from. And look, things are going to happen. Things are going to shift. No birth plan ever comes out exactly how you want them. But I do think no matter what, knowledge is power with everything in life. There's no harm in knowing the different things that can occur.
Yeah.
And how you might feel about them and how you might navigate them.
And look up different birth plans online, because if your hospital one, like it might not be the best, or like you might have different preferences that aren't on the hospital list. Look up a couple different templates and see how they are different. And then you can go from there. And if nothing else, jot down in case of emergency.
Right.
These are my preferences in this situation. These are my preferences. Think through a bunch of options after you take your birth class.
Right.
And you don't have to fill out a template. You could just write out a few things.
You know who also has a really powerful story about being gaslit during birth is Serena Williams.
Really?
It's so gnarly. She kept telling them, hey, something is super wrong. This does not feel right. And she had really bad hemorrhaging.
Oh my God.
And no one was coming and believing her that something was wrong. And it got to the point where she also almost died. And she tells this story on some sort of series. I was watching it and I was just like, this is terrifying.
It's so disappointing. Because, I mean, on a much lesser level, both times my water broke in the hospital, they were like, oh no, it didn't. Both times. And I was like, check again. It did.
There is this like power dynamic thing, and it gets really tricky because I don't want people to think I'm ever one of those people that's like, don't listen to your OB. Because like safety comes first. They're the trained medical professional. Like we hired them and partner up with them because we want them to deliver a baby safely and make sure I'm safe too. And like that matters and it's important. But some stories just really make women so scared.
Yeah.
And
speaking of OBs, I saw something recently and it was an OB was talking to another OB and she was like, if it's all the same, can we say that you just came from a birth instead of I just delivered a baby?
I hate the term delivered.
It takes it away from
the mom.
From the mom. And I had never thought about that.
Oh, it boils my blood.
It's like, you delivered the baby? I birthed the baby. You came from a birth.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to think about.
No one delivered your baby.
You did.
You delivered. It's funny because in midwifery care, they say who caught the baby.
Oh.
Because you birthed the baby, but someone caught them. So they ask to go in depth about birth plans, which each appointment's like 2 hours. So they've already asked me so many questions. Who do you want there? Who's going to take care of your son? Who's going to do this? Like we go into so much depth and I'm like not even halfway through my pregnancy.
Yeah. That's amazing though.
And
makes you think about it.
They said, who do you want to catch a baby? Do you want to? Or do you want your husband or do you want one of us? I'm like, I know now I'm going to be primal. I'm going to be on cloud, fuck knows where. I'm not going to catch my baby.
Right.
All power to people who do. But like, what?
Yeah.
I'm hiring you for a job.
The least you could do is catch them. I'm doing the rest.
But I like that terminology because obviously it's a partnership.
Yeah.
Like the OB is catching the baby. Yeah. You are pushing the baby out, moving it through your body.
Right.
You are laboring that baby.
Yeah. It's just interesting to think about all of the verbiage.
It's so interesting. So passionate about it.
I know you are. And I am on my way. Like, I'm passionate about it too. I'm just not as informed. I love learning about it though.
Yeah, and I've talked about the fact that I was so informed and birth still shook me to my core. So it's not about like I'm writing a birth plan so everything's going to go great and I'm going to have an amazing birth and la 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 la. I was really afraid to be transferred, right? Because I went to a birth center and I was really afraid to be transferred. So for me, I did a birth plan and a hospital birth plan, and I felt less fearful of it because I knew, you know what, if this happens, like, you know, I've thought about all the things that could happen and I know that those are real possibilities, and I just felt better about it and didn't feel as like emergency. Because
mindset, right? When you're like mentally prepared for things and you've thought them through, the surprise and disappointment isn't as shocking. It's like practice makes comfortable.
Yeah, practice makes comfortable. It's really funny because my midwives asked me, who do you want in the room? And I was like, I'd actually prefer if no one's in the room. Yeah. And they were like, do you want your husband in the room? They were like, who's going to take care of your son? And I was like, I think that's a good job for my husband.
Yeah, totally.
Like, I need to talk to him about it, but I think he would agree. Yeah. Because he was like moving from corner to corner to like not see everything that was going on as I crawled on the floor. To each their own.
I don't think that anyone is prepared for birth in like when you're in it. Yeah. And like, I really don't think the husband is prepared.
Can also we just talk about for a second about how like when you look at old depictions of birth, it's a bunch of women.
Yeah, men were never in the room.
Like, and now we're like, I want my husband in the room, but we don't think about
like for what?
All the other people. I know. And like sometimes the nurse isn't there, sometimes the doctor's not there till literally baby's coming out. Yeah. So like it's just something to think about, and why I think doulas can be very valuable.
Yes. A team of women.
Yeah, a team of women. It just feels like someone who's on your team. And I'm not saying partners can't be extremely valuable. And I think that some people, you know, want that person because they're used to them, they're comfortable with them. So I totally understand that.
But if you don't, like, that's fine too. I was like, I want my mom.
Totally. Like I want people to know that it's like okay to not be like,
yeah, you kicked him out.
Oh yeah, I kicked my husband out. Yeah. He wanted to go out. Yeah. He was like, I'll go get you a burrito.
Were you asking for a burrito?
I told him I wanted one after.
You weren't like,
he walked across the street.
You weren't like 9 centimeters.
Because
like get me a burrito.
No. I was like, he knew shit was happening. Yeah. So he was like, okay, baby's like coming.
Better get a burrito.
I was in transition. Yeah. So he was like, I'm going to go get a burrito.
Totally. Yeah. People.
Burrito I have a photo. I need to put it
I have a photo of baby and burrito.
Oh my God.
And they were like the same size.
Have a burrito for our...
I had burrito after my first. Second?
Wow.
I don't remember.
Mine was some Vallarta Express.
Ooh, Vallarta Express. They have a really good veggie quesadilla.
I know. I would never get a veggie quesadilla.
Yeah, I know, but it's so good.
I'm going to add the photo here because I think my husband's like asleep on the bed and I'm like this. I'm like, why are you sleeping? Like, why are you tired?
Oh. Birth plan. Husband has to stay awake when I'm awake. If you want to sleep,
Drew's fainting, Connor's sleeping.
Oh my God. Get the women in the room.
My acupuncturist the other day, I was telling her all of my symptoms so that we could walk through what I was going to get for treatment that day. And she was like, if men were in charge of reproducing and carrying babies and birthing them, we actually would have no more humans on the planet.
Yeah, it would cease to exist.
Say goodbye.
On that note,
it really is one of my goals to write a Moms Interrupted downloadable template for a birth plan.
That's such a good idea.
So I do promise that soonish. It's on my checklist of things to do.
When you make your birth plan, you should just...
Because none of them are it. Like, I look at the templates and I would change all of them.
Yeah.
And I think, like you said, there's frills, and even the ACOG one, it's great, but it's just not it. So I really want to do a catered one that's free and you can download it. So hold me to that because I am going to make one.
Add it to the list.
But thanks everyone for listening.
Thanks for listening.
I hope this is helpful if you're pregnant or even just one day can listen to this when you are pregnant. Or if you're even having a second and didn't do a birth plan the first time and you
Yes.
decide you want to this time because of the way things happened, I hope it's helpful for you.
Sure.
And on Natasha's yawn, no, that's it. Wrapping it up.
I'm just really tired.
Okay, we're going to go get another coffee.
Yeah. Bye.